Sage Wanderer here, coming at you from my shotgun shack in the Texas Outback. I have an emergency alert concerning the state of Virginia. Many of you are aware of the enormous, biggest ever pro-Second Amendment open carry rally held in Virginia in protest against the proposed gun control laws, which they are busy going about passing and making a reality anyway, despite our show of force in Virginia on January 20th. So, if you know a thing or two about tyranny, then you understand that our Bill of Rights is a buffer against tyranny. Our Bill of Rights was designed to systematically stop the progression and pathway required to take to obtain total tyranny. So, for instance, you have to get rid of the Second Amendment before you can be a tyrant. As long as people have the ability to stand up and fight against you, then you can't implement the other things that you want to do, okay? And so, also, the First Amendment, if people are complaining, if people are rallying other people to their side, if people are allowed to persuade people or to use logical discourse to change people's minds, well, likely, rightly so, you can't actually really have total tyranny and complete power, because eventually the grumblings will lead to an uprising and they'll come after you with kitchen knives. That's all they have left since you've taken away all of their guns, okay? I mean, ideally, to have tyranny work, you can't have the Fourth Amendment either, because you need to be able to come inside their house and search for any propaganda or any weapons they might be hoarding, like, you know, unblunted steak knives or, you know, tweezers or anything like toenail clippers. And so you have to come into their house and make sure they don't have any stuff like that. So you can't have you know, you got to have laws that allow the government to violate your Fourth Amendment right as well. And, you know, also, people must be, if you're going to be a tyrant, people must answer when they're spoken to. If I say something to you, you better answer me, young man. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You will answer me. So the right to remain silent, the right of the Fifth Amendment to not incriminate yourself or be forced into a coerced confession, that's got to be thrown out as well. So, in Virginia, there's been a systematic, sudden, and complete, total attack on the Second Amendment. They're dismantling it piece by piece, even making it illegal for you to teach another person how to handle a rifle, a pistol, or a shotgun in the state of Virginia. And these are being passed systematically. They're going to be signed by the governor, and complete ban on any type of military, even military thinking, is going to be removed from the state of Virginia, which is going to be interesting to watch since the NRA is based there, and a lot of, well, I mean, isn't their state motto something about tyranny? Okay, so, yeah, they're implementing this tyrannical gun control. Well, guess what, guys? Here's a new piece of legislation I'd like to read to you. They're making it illegal for you to criticize the government. So the First Amendment, they can't have you talking about that picture of the blackface governor. They can't be having you talk about, you know, any of this. You can't criticize members of the government. You can't call your congressman. You can't tweet about it. You certainly can't put it on Facebook. It's agree with us or remain silent. And soon you won't be able to remain silent. Soon it will be agree with us. You can't. Your silence is disagreement with us. They're literally going to put you in a chair and torture you until you give all of your allegiance to the government and kiss their feet. This is the goal of totalitarianism. This is the goal of tyranny and tyrants. So this is the new legislation and announcing the attack on the First Amendment and freedom of speech in the state of Virginia. Are you ready for this? The new law will read, if any person with the intent to coerce, intimidate, or harass any person, and all those things, harass especially, is up for personal interpretation. So if any person with the intent to coerce, intimidate, or harass any person and shall use a computer or computer network to communicate obscene, vulgar, profane, lewd, lascivious, or indecent. There's another one of those words that can anyone, is a matter of opinion, what's indecent, or indecent language, or make any suggestion or proposal of an obscene nature, or threaten any illegal or immoral act. He/she is guilty of a Class 1 misdemeanor. A violation of this section may be prosecuted in the jurisdiction in which the communication was made or received, or in the city of Richmond, if the person subjected to the act is one of the following officials or employees of the Commonwealth. So they can snatch you out of your town in your sanctuary county, drag you to Richmond, to the city of Richmond, if you speak ill of any of the following people. Are you ready? Back to the quote exactly here. Any of the following officials or employees of the Commonwealth: the governor-elect, lieutenant governor-elect, attorney general or attorney general-elect, a member or employee of the General Assembly, a justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia, or a judge of the Court of Appeals of Virginia. So if a judge has a ruling that you don't like, and you say, I disagree on the reasons of A, B, and C, and you do it over a computer, especially if you end with it, that guy's a real blankety blank and he ought to go blank himself, okay, then you're guilty of a misdemeanor. You can be plucked from your house in rural Virginia and dragged to Richmond to face der Führer, to face the justice of the tyrannist in the Virginia capital. If you're not preparing to do something about this and you live in Virginia, if you live in Virginia and you're not ready for tyranny, and you're not ready to be, taken down to the gulag and chained to the floor and forced to kiss the governor's feet and apologize for criticizing his clothing, okay, or his choice of makeup, if you know what I mean, then you should be moving. You should be packing your stuff, right? Or you should be preparing to do something about this. Okay? So, it's tyranny of the highest level. The next thing they'll be putting out will be Fourth Amendment clauses, because they do want to come in your house. They want you to shut up. They want you to hand over your guns and not complain about it. And they want to come in your house and make sure you're not plotting anything against them, right? And the next thing is you're going to be forced to give a vow of loyalty to the state, or tortured until you will. I'm telling you, this is what's coming. I'm not conflating things. I'm not being overreactionary, okay? This is a clear violation of the First Amendment. They've already passed bills that are clear violations of the Second Amendment. And something has happened in the state of Virginia. Now, how did they get control with all of these counties being opposed to this ideology? Well, there is some people who are saying that the election in Virginia was rigged. Is this what they plan to do in other states? Bloomberg has something to do with this. They've recently introduced draconian gun control laws in the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a sanctuary state. That's the most, you can carry a gun any way you want in Oklahoma. You can hide it, you can load it, you can unload it, you can keep it in your armpit, you can wear it on your hip, right? They have constitutional carry there. And they're proposing these draconian gun laws right after Bloomberg dropped a whole bunch of money into the political system in Oklahoma. Now, is Bloomberg buying these elections? Is this election fraud? If Oklahoma turns blue, something is wrong. Something is way wrong. There ain't a blue thing. I think you can't even wear a blue shirt in Oklahoma. You can wear blue jeans in Oklahoma, but they got to be faded, because if they're too blue, that makes you too much of a city folk. I'm telling you, I got kin in Oklahoma. They ain't about to lay down for. I know a guy in Oklahoma that's got enough guns to start his own dang war in his pickup truck. He carries them around with him, right? He can't find them all. He's like stacking them on top. If you were to raid his car, it looked like a gun show. He had to put out tables to show them all. So what could be happening is, this is part of what I've been warning you guys about in my Civil War videos since 2.5 years ago. That this is some kind of concerted effort by globalists and billionaires and corporations to turn our country into a communist country where we no longer have the right to make fun of the leaders. We no longer have the right to cuss at our leaders and show our disdain. We no longer have the right to criticize the draconian tyrants. We no longer have the right to keep and bear arms and defend ourselves. We no longer have the right to privacy in our own homes, and we no longer have the right to do anything unless granted special permission by the king. This is tyranny. This is where it's happening, and King Northam is laying down his dictums. And I'm telling you, if you live in Virginia, you better be ready to fight or run, because that's what they're forcing you into. God save our republic.